Okay, let me show you what I'm trying to do here. I've got this tree and it's leaning over my fence and into my neighbor's yard. I want to cut it down. I'm trying to use a sawzall. So I took a machete, or hatchet rather, I mean a hatchet, and I notched out this side of the tree, the face of the tree, not the back side. So I notched that out. I cut all these other limbs out, get it out of the way. And so then I'm going to come back here on the back side and cut it with a sawzall. You can see there's two lines. The bottom line, well, it was too low. It didn't match up with my notch up there. And then my second one fared a little better, but it didn't match up either. So I'm going to have to try to get up a little higher so I can get within the opening of that gap right there. So what I did was I tied a rope, it's mule tape actually, to trying to find the limb. That limb up there, which goes out to there. So you can see the rope, and the rope goes, I had to tie it in a whole bunch of sections. I didn't want to waste a big old piece of mule tape. I have 5,000 feet, but I keep using it, so I'm running low. So I've tied it to my bumper of the truck. My truck's a four-wheel drive, so I've got it in four-wheel drive right now. And what I do is I pull it forward and keep pressure on that rope. And every time I go back and I make a cut, I pull the truck just maybe probably about a quarter of an inch at a time forward. Pull the emergency brake so it can't go, so it doesn't lunge backward when I put it in park. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep cutting that, and hopefully, if all goes well, that tree won't hit my car. Fortunately, it's just a Audi 2.0 turbo, A4 Quattro turbo, whatever the heck that thing is. Hopefully it won't hit that. And I'm pretty sure it won't hit my grandson's 73 or 72 Super Beetle. So, we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you updated. Okay, I moved the truck about another quarter to half inch this time. Now I put a thin stick down in the crack so I can tell if that stick moves, then I know that that tree is starting to come forward. It's starting to give. I'll show you the blade I'm using in a little bit. I think it's, I don't know, it might be a DeWalt thing. It's a very coarse wood blade. And I am wearing gloves, goggles, and a safety, or a Verizon hard hat. Not that it's going to help me a whole lot if this tree falls and knocks me out, but I think it's going to do more than knock me out if it falls against me. But when you do something stupid like this, always take as many safety precautions as you can. I'll be back in a minute. Well, sports fans, I moved the truck probably at least an inch this time, so something's given. But the bad news is, I think we have a problem, Houston. There's a knot. Where's it at? Oh, right there. There's a knot. So you can see the big knot, but to the left of it, or behind it, there's another knot, and it looks like it's where I joined ropes together, and it looks like it's ready to come loose. And it's too late to correct that now. There's nothing I can do now. But if that thing breaks, I hate to make this sound so dramatic like you always see on HDTV, but this is real. And as you can see, there are trees leaning over that fence, and this yard's fenced in for my dog, so that's not going to be good. It'll be a trip to Lowe's at least. Anyway, I'll see what happens. Well, I quit filming last time because I heard a crack, like I thought maybe the tree was starting to give. So I went and stopped cutting, went and got in the truck and pulled it, and sure enough, that knot broke loose, and it's up there in the trees. So it's really precarious now. I really do sound like HGTV. Because the rope's up there and I've been cutting on that thing, and it's going to give at any minute. I don't have a 2x4 to put behind it to kind of hold it up or anything. That would have been a good idea, but I don't have a 2x4. So I'm going to try to get that rope down with a rake and retie it and try this again. Win or lose, I'll keep you posted. Okay, all you anxious people waiting to see me have the biggest disaster of the week. There's that one. There's my knot. I redid it. Had to add another section of rope to it. I redid it. It's all taut and just ready to go. But I just want to let you know that on the mule tape, I doubled it over when I started. So there's 2 pieces of mule tape all the way down. So I mean, it could still break. So for those of you rooting that it will, and then things will go south on me, hang in there. It could still happen. Be back in a minute. Okay. I just pulled the truck forward, but maybe not enough, because you can see that stick that I put in there for a measurement is probably a 1/4 inch away now, and I noticed there was a problem. As soon as I started to saw it again, my blade didn't want to go in. Usually when I put pressure on it and it does go forward, there's a good enough gap that my sawzall blade will go right in there. But this time it was tight, didn't want to go. So I'm gonna go try pulling the truck forward again and see if there. See, I got the door open because I was gonna saw in case I had to hurry up and jump in there. Here's the Volkswagen. That's going to be in a movie called Sawzall. The pilot episode is going to be filming pretty soon, and that car is going to be in it in the pilot episode. So you'll see it in Sawzall by TBE Studios. Anyway, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, since the last video, I moved the truck one more time, and then I went and started sawing, and I don't know if you can see, but that gap is really opened up now. See the top gap? It's probably at least an eighth of an inch. Well, I'm really happy with that. I'm really getting scared because now, once that thing starts to go, I have no control over it. I know, sounds like HGTV drama or one of those reality TVs, but this video is for entertainment purposes only. I wouldn't recommend trying this at home. I'm not encouraging you to do it. I'm showing you that I did it. You would have to do it at your own risk. And believe me, there is a lot of risk. So you might want to have somebody help you or pay a professional. But anyway, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I just moved the truck forward again after cutting, and you can see now. Jeez. Ow. Yeah, I fell. That's all right. Tripped over my sawzall and cord. Crap, now everything's blurry. I don't know if you can tell. Let's see how much that opened up. It's a good 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch now in some spots. So, and the left side is where I really wanted it to open up, and it is opening up very good. So, one thing I wanted to mention, ladies, when you're cutting this and the sawzall's in there going back and forth, and you're this far into it, watch the tree carefully. If you start to see any movement at all, stop immediately, get your sawzall out of the way, and go get in your vehicle and pull more pressure on it, because at that point it's probably ready to go. See, this is a real fine line right here, because I'm kind of afraid to cut any more, but I'm afraid to put too much pressure on that rope, because if the rope snaps, then now the only place it has to go is backwards. I guess I could put some shims under there. I got my hatchet over there, and I could whack that in there. But again, if my rope breaks, I'm done. It's going to take out my fence. But might try cutting just a little bit more. I was watching my stick, and it came up and it pushed my stick out of the way. So there was quite a bit of movement. You can see my notch there. I don't want to get too close to this thing. Anyway, ladies, be careful. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, as you can see, I put my axe into the back side, because it's like a wedge, and that'll help to keep it from coming back a little bit. I sawed just a little bit more, so I'm going to go pull the truck forward and see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can set this phone up and try to record this, because I think it's to the point now where be able to see. I think the tree's going to come down, so I'm going to go ahead and try to get that. Well, it didn't come down. Let me take a look. Well, it really worries me now, because it hasn't come down, and I'm at the point of no return. I've got to go for it. What I'm worried about is the rope is around a protruding limb up near the top. So you got to do it near the top to get leverage. I can't put it down at the bottom, or it'll still fall over backwards. I'm worried that limb's going to break if my rope doesn't. Okay, well, that was a success. As you can see, the tree came down. I don't know how much of it's going to be on the video, but there's where the truck ended up. So there it is. Now I just have to cut it up and haul it away. Yay. Oh, look at, that's all that was holding it up that time. Oh my gosh, I'm glad I stopped cutting when I did. Whew. Anyway, that's all she wrote, sports fans. If you do this at home, be careful. Wear PPE, personal protective equipment, and be safe. One last thing, when you do something like this, pray for a safe outcome. It helps. Okay, now that it's down, I wanted to show you. That's the little limb. Let's see how small that limb is. That's the limb sticking up towards the top, where I had my rope attached. The rope never moved, and this is the way it ended up. just like that. And it dug into the ground. I'm trying to get my shadow out of there. You can see where it dug into the ground down there. The rope held. Mule tape is great stuff. It's nylon. They use it in interduct for fiber optics and running cables through conduit for telephone. Look at that. Boy, it wasn't much. You should get on the other side. I'm getting a lot of shadow. Wasn't just that little bit was holding it up at the end. Wow, I'm glad I quit when I did. Lord might not have given me too much common sense, but he gave me enough to stop when I felt like it was getting too unsafe. And it was a good call. Yeah. Truck's down there. Got the rope disconnected from it, but wow. And that was a terrible tree. Birds liked it, but it was a terrible tree. It's got all kinds of diseases on it and stuff, so it was a beautiful day to do this. There you have it. That's oh yeah, I did tell you I was gonna show you the sawzall blades that I use, so let me stop this and go get a blade. Okay, there's the blade. It is a DeWalt blade. It's a 6 TPI, I guess. I don't know. Okay, it's a DWA, I guess DeWalt A R106. I think it's, it doesn't say how many inches it is. I'll measure it. Be right back. Okay, so I measured the blade. The blades are 12 inches long. And this is very, very hard wood. And one blade took down this whole tree. And I had, that was the biggest in diameter. So I cut out 1, 2, 3, looks like a total of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, a total of 4 big limbs. Like I said, that's the biggest. But 3 of the others were not much smaller. And like I said, that wood, when I chopped it with a hatchet, it was hard, very hard. So I'm going to sign off, but before I leave, I do want to say that if you do something like this, or if you know somebody's going to do it, tell them, go slow, very slow, take their time. I guess my daughter would say I'm hyper by nature. I have ADHD, and at 63 years old, I've slowed down, and I've learned that you got to slow down, be careful, take your time. And I got lucky using only one rope, even though I doubled it. If you could do more rope or use a chain, and maybe get a ladder up there and try to get as high as you can safely around the top of the tree to where it's not going to break, and wrap your chain or rope there instead of on a limb like I did. That's one area where I didn't slow down. I should have stopped, got a ladder out, not been lazy. But instead I just threw the rope around from the ground, threw it up around that limb, and was hoping for the best from there and prayed for a good outcome, and which I got. And that's it. Enjoy. All right, sports fans, I thought I was done with this video stuff, but I wanted to show you. I just cut the limb off with my sawzall from the main part of the tree. I'm going to start cutting this up and getting rid of it. But I did notice, I think you can see it right there, the rope, the nylon rope, doesn't look like it would have lasted a whole lot longer. So if I tried putting too much pressure on it too early on, it would have eaten through there and it would have snapped. And that was my big fear too. So I guess in hindsight, maybe it would be a good idea to, before you put your rope on there, maybe wrap a cloth around it or something to protect if you're using nylon like this. If you use a chain, you don't have to worry about it, or a metal cable, you don't have to worry about it. But if you're going to use rope like this or any other kind of rope, I wouldn't recommend anything other than nylon. Then I would insulate the rope from the branch with something that'll keep it from chafing and tearing up like that. So I just wanted to point that out and show it to you. So there it is. Take care. There's the stumps. That's all that's left. Everything's cleaned up and taken away. Truck's put back where it belongs, and yard's cleaned up. So all is good.